Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm Kirsty.
And this is our podcast covering the highs, lows, and realities of parenting a child with neurodiversity.
Each week we'll be sharing updates from our lives and hearing from a variety of guests about their advice and experiences.
This is Love Needs No Words.
Hello and welcome to Love Needs No Words. On today's episode, we are joined by Nicole Settle. Nicole is the lady behind ADHD Mum on Instagram, where she shares her journey about both her ongoing experience with neurodivergence and also that of her children. My gut says this is going to be a very good episode because when I was speaking with Nicole earlier, she said she is a total open book. So brace yourselves. Also, a complete disclaimer, we are recording this episode on the hottest day of the year. We are melting. So if we're a bit giddy, this is why. So here goes. Hello, Nicole.
Hi.
Are you
Thanks
okay?
for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about your family, Nicole. How many children do you have?
So I have got 3 children. I've got Maisie and Elsie, who are 11 months apart, and then a gap, and then Freddie.
Okay. What's the
So
gap
10,
like?
11. So yeah, Maisie and Elsie are, they're 11 and 12 now, and then Freddie is just turned 6.
Okay. So which of your children are neurodivergent?
Maisie and Freddie definitely, and Elsie possibly more up my kind of street, but we can only deal with 2.
You're maxed out.
I'm totally full to the brim, so we'll wait and see. I've got a dog called Sylvie, who is my best friend, and she's a sausage dog, and I would have her here with me, but she would just bark the whole time.
She'd be so welcome.
I'll bring her to your house and you won't say that.
Oh, be careful what you offer out.
But yeah, so there's 5 of us. My husband Gary, he is amazing with the kids and stuff. But yeah, so there's 5 of us and our little sausage.
And how do they present themselves, Nicole, the 2 that are neurodivergent?
So Maisie is is more emotional needs. It's more PD, like meeting demands, following instructions, making decisions, like day-to-day life, where some people would just ignore all that really and let someone crumble. Freddie is, definitely high needs, wild, runs around, has the best time of his life. He needs like full time 24 hours a day support. Or he does things like, chuck Alexa's out windows, and that's what he done today, which is my fault. But yeah, no, he has got like really, really high needs, can't speak to you, doesn't understand when you're asking him to do a question, asking him to bring his cup or anything like that. But he has actually done so well the last year that he's been in school, and he's definitely improved, like every single day. The last test that he had, like kind of to decide where he was, like age wise, it was sitting around 18 months, so he's 6.
Okay. So there was obviously a gap between Freddie and your girls. Did you know about Maisie before you knew about Freddie? Or was Freddie kind of your first steps into this world?
Yeah, so like Freddie it's not my first steps into this world because obviously I have ADHD, my brother's autistic as well.
Okay.
But it was my first step into obviously parenthood in that sense. Because Freddie was so obviously autistic from being months old, he wouldn't clap his hands, he wouldn't look at you, he didn't put his hands up, he had no emotion really, no personality, which is sad now looking back. I really did think he had like a brain tumor or a brain condition, or I knew there was something. I can't say, I knew he was autistic, but I knew that there was something. Whereas Maisie developed, from like all her charts and stuff, fine. Like it wasn't, again, it was more just like emotional regulation and, clothes, like touching her and like stuff like that. It wasn't, communication or development as in walking, talking, all that kind of thing.
So how did it feel when you were going through this with Freddie after having your girls previously and not having that experience at all? Was there any kind of, like, I don't know how your brother presents, but was there any kind of insight from growing up with him that? Not
really. Like my brother was more argumentative, violent, out of control, like just couldn't regulate himself, like couldn't calm himself down. So no, with Freddie, it was a whole different kettle of fish. And to be completely honest, like that's obviously when I started my own page. But to be completely honest, like I didn't cope with it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't cope with it at all. I felt like people weren't listening to me. I remember speaking to a school mom and saying, I think Freddie's autistic, and she was like, oh, he's only he's only 9 months or 10 months or something like that. And I was like, no, like there's definitely, I know that there's something different. And then everyone I said that to, whether it be my gran, like my auntie, Gary's mum and stuff, like they don't mean it in a bad way, but like they dismiss it because they don't want you to worry. But that actually worries you even more because they think I am actually a psycho. Like what are they seeing that I can't see? So that was like my first ever. That was the first time I'd ever experienced anxiety. I had never had any kind of mental health, issues before that besides ADHD. But when I sit back and look, like I was high functioning all the time, like before, like I broke basically. But yeah, I was really, really ill. I felt like I was sitting on the top of a washing machine. I felt like I couldn't make decisions. My heart was racing. I was cold sweats all the time. I didn't want anyone to touch Freddie. I didn't want anyone to be near Freddie. I wanted to keep him, safe. I was, a bit away with it, to be honest. I went to the doctors and I lied when I went to the doctors. I said I had a lump on the back of my neck, which I did, but I knew it was just a swollen lymph node. But I thought I need to get my way into this doctor's without saying, oh my, there's something wrong with me. Like I think I'm crazy. So I went into the doctor's and she was checking like the lump, and I'd had tonsillitis. So she was like, Nicole, it's just a swollen lymph node. Come back in 8 weeks if it's not away. And then I just burst out crying and was like, it's not about the lymph node. Like there's something wrong with me. Like blah blah blah. So that day she said, well, there's nothing wrong with you. You're experiencing like a big life event. You like it's a really, really hard time. I think you should try like anti-anxiety medication. Now, I've never been on medication, very rarely even take paracetamol or anything. And not because I don't believe in it, because I worry about taking it, like in that sense. So I went home and I said to Gary, Gary knew everything. He was the one who made me like go to the doctor. So they prescribed me sertraline. Again, I've never been on anything like that. And I went home and it sat in my cupboard for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I felt myself getting worse and worse and worse. And it was like penting up. And then Gary literally put the tablets in and was like, you're going to have to do something. Like, that, you're not, like, this is not you. Like, this is your mind, like, telling you that you're feeling like this, like, blah, blah, blah. So I took the antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication the first day. And that same night, I had my first ever panic attack. And I think it was more about panicking that I'd taken medication and then everything else had just built up. I'd never had a panic attack and I thought I was having a heart attack, and I phoned 999. And people will not know this, by the way. Like, listen, like my family and stuff, if they listen, they will not know any of this. The ambulance obviously came and they put everything all over me and were like, right, first of all, you're not having a heart attack. And then my heart rate just came, like right down because I wasn't be worrying about that. And then I went to the doctors the next day and they were like, you're worrying too much about the medication. So they gave me propanolol, like just to take to like to help me calm down and stuff. So yeah, that is how that all affected me. And it took me a long, long time to come back down. And there's still times now where, I can feel myself getting there, but I know how to manage it a lot better now. But yeah, it took me a long, long time. Like I did definitely, yeah, I did definitely struggle with it. But no one else knew, like only Gary. Freddie never played with toys. He just didn't know how to. And obviously, with the mum I am, I bought everything. Every single. He was my first boy. Everything in my house was pink, so I bought everything that I could possibly buy. And all he done was sit. And I've got videos of him that I would never have posted at the time, never have shown anyone. But all he ever did was sit on the floor and spin the wheels of the trucks and stuff. And I'm thinking, why is he not like broom, broom, broom? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're watching on air, just like play with the car. But yeah, he just didn't know how to do that. And then I started taking him up to the school, the girls' school playground. And again, I was anxious to do that because he was so noticeably different. And I was like, and I feel so ashamed of myself now. But I was not embarrassed to having Freddie, but I was so nervous about people questioning him, like, why is he doing that? Why is he doing this? Like, I just didn't know what to do or place myself. And then I took him up to the playgrounds and I thought, oh, fuck this, like, what am I doing? Like, he's my little boy. Like, I'll do what I want. He deserves to be anywhere. So I let him out his buggy. And there was the, snakes and ladders, like, on the concrete. And that was him. 1, 2, 3, 4, like, up to 100. And I'm thinking, holy shit, he can count to 100. Like, I didn't even know, you know, like I didn't know you could do that. And then there was like the alphabet, and he was going along like backwards and forwards, and he was, you know, shouting like just all the numbers, like 1,000, and he's got his wee American accent, and I had never even heard him say a word in my life.
Wow.
And I thought, like, this is actually insane. Like, he knows all these numbers, like he'd never even said anything. And that's where like we realized like how clever he was. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So that moment in the playground when that happened, and you said you hadn't heard him,
I'd never heard him.
Never heard a word before. What was that like?
I was just
How
panicking.
did you keep yourself together?
Obviously, to everyone else, like a little boy who can walk should talk.
Yes.
So nobody else thought anything of it. You know, like, oh, that's cute. He shared out the numbers, and oh wow, like he's really clever. Like he was literally not even one, and he was just walking about. And I'm just thinking, like, and then I was saying, what does that say? No, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not answering to me. And I'm like, what is this? What number is this? And he's just on his own wee world, like going around and round. And I phoned my husband. I was like, he can talk. Like, he knows what these words are. And Gary was like, all right. Like, totally didn't believe me. And he was like, all right, okay, like that. Okay, like thinking, does he really? So that night we went up to the school playground, and he just was playing on it for like an hour and a half. So yeah, that's when we started to realize that he could read words, and he could like, you know, he knew all these numbers, but that he just didn't know how to communicate it at all with a person or with us or anything like that.
So did Freddie inspire the page?
So my Instagram page was called Freddie's World Plus 2. That's how it first started off. He did inspire it. Like, if you did go back and look, like, it was just basically about Freddie, and it was too much. It was, you know, it was too much information, that is me. And, you know, I really started that page to connect with other mums who were in really similar situations, and, you know, to just, you know, share my story with them. Because by this point, obviously, I was not fine, but I was, you know, really accepted. This was our situation, and this was our life, and, you know, started to work on awareness rather than acceptance, because I was past that. And then when I made the Instagram page, like, I couldn't believe like how many mums there were like me and had kids like me, and you know, just related in so many ways to like our life. And then people started like asking questions about the girls, and I changed the name to ADHD Mum, because, you know, without me, they're not them, are they? And I think I started to, you know, it was like, it became like a unit basically of all of us. And yeah, that's kind of how that started.
When did you learn that you had ADHD?
Well, this is a funny story, because I found out I had ADHD a year and a half ago, but I was diagnosed in 2007.
Okay. How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
So
talk me through that, Nicole.
So what happened was, I phoned the doctor about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago or something, whenever it was, and just said to her, like, listen, like, you know, Freddie's autistic, Maisie's definitely, you know, like, there's something going on with Maisie. At this point, I wasn't like 100% sure. I was like, and I'm just 100% not, you know, I would say the same as everyone else. There's something going on here. And she was like, yeah, and she went, is it the medication you want to try? And I went, medication for what? And she went, ADHD. And I said, well, yeah, I think I've got ADHD. And she went, you do have ADHD. And she told me, she was like, you were diagnosed in Carnegie Clinic in 2007. And I have got like a weird memory of being in that clinic. Like, it's literally just along the road from me. And I was like, yeah, I have been in there. I don't remember ever being diagnosed. I don't remember, they told me I'd been on medication for 3 years, like all this. So it kind of goes back, like, I don't have a relationship with my mum, and I haven't for 11 years.
Okay.
And there's nothing there, but my mum is an alcoholic, and I just chose to not bring that forward into my kids' life. There's no other story. There's no, like, that is all it is. So we've never really had a good relationship, if I'm being completely honest. So I don't remember ever getting diagnosed. So the doctor was like, I can just refer you to the psychiatrist. Like, it needs to be a psychiatrist who prescribes the medication for ADHD. So I'm like up at the psychiatrist, like asking to like see my medical notes and that. Like, I do believe her, but I'm like, I need to like pure solid proof of this. So I requested all my medical notes from 2006 to 2018 or something. No, 2013, till I had the kids, because obviously everything from there I know. And yeah, it's there, black and white. So I did go back onto medication about a year ago, I think a year past February, and I've came off it. I just don't, it really made me feel very, probably normal, which I know is not a good word to use, but it made me feel like a typical person, I think. And I just don't think I'm born to be that.
Oh, I love
that.
that.
That's like literally, I don't think, I just don't think I'm born to be that person who's organized, calm, runs a tight ship, got their kids' school clothes ready. Like, that's just not me. It was very quiet. Like, that is, you see the videos on TikTok and someone takes the ADHD medication for the first time and they look about it and they're like, wow, is this how you all feel? And I'm thinking, like, wow, this is so boring. Like, I just honestly,
you like a bit of chaos.
Like, I thrive in the chaos. Like, I thrive in the stress. Like, I go away to Lanzarote in like 30 hours or something. It came flashed up before. I've not packed a thing. Like, I've not done anything at all.
You're like a kindred spirit. You're like me. Yeah, this is me. I thrive in chaos and
I need it.
stress.
Like, I need it. I just need it to be able to like do what I need to do. Now, like, we've got hundreds of suitcases, all the clothes I bought from Shein, H&M, they're all still in the bags in the cupboard. Like, I know that I've got everything in that cupboard.
You'll get
like,
there. Have it all.
Like, we call it the cupboard of doom. Even my kids call it that. And it's like just under the stairs, and everything's in there, from goggles, tampons, clothes, armbands, everything I've ordered has been put in that cupboard. And see, tomorrow, and all these people who are like, you packed it. No. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's in the cupboard. Like, why would I want to bring all the suitcases in? And I don't go until, not for ages.
Do you feel like you need the pressure, Nicole? Because this is what I have. I feel like I need the pressure, and put me under pressure. It's like a diamond. Like, I do my best work under pressure. Beforehand, I can faff around.
Me too. I can do anything. Like, I can do, like, sometimes, like, in a 6-hour day, I can do all my shopping, take my grand, clean my car, clean the whole house, buy everything, and the next day I'm just vegetated, like, can't even move.
How did I get through the day?
It's like doing that. But no, it's so weird. But we go away. I'm a nightmare when it comes to that. But like, it's so weird because something in the house, like, say, I don't even know, my straighteners don't work or something like that. Like, I could honestly have like an absolute meltdown. I'm like, oh my god, like, this is my life. Like, why has this happened to me? But like, throw me into like a total like terrible situation, and I'm your woman. Like, I'm the person who will deal with anything. But the stupidest little things, like the key snapping in my door, like, honestly, that about to say, like, I was like, I need to move house. This is an omen.
That tips you over.
But then like the car crash, or like, a wheel blows, or something really people would be so worried about, like the fact that Freddie has chicken pox and we're flying in 30 hours and we don't even know if we can go, and we've got a private GP appointment tomorrow for a fit to fly. Other people would be spiraling out of control with that. I'm just like, it's going to be fine.
I was going to ask you, Nicole, but you've kind of already answered it, how your ADHD sort of presents itself in you, the negative side of it, but also the positive side.
No, the negative side, like, I think I don't really like the whole it's a superpower term, if I'm being honest. And I know people really mean that in the best way, especially when they're talking about their own kids, because, we love our kids, and, we want them to, people to know that they're amazing, and, all that. But ADHD, yes, there is some qualities that have been amazing, like my work ethic, for example. I've worked since I was 13. I worked my way up so early. I love being at my work. I love, taking control. I'm a complete control freak, which is not always good. Can I just, for other people? It is for me, but I know it's so annoying for other people. I'm like texting them, did you go to Asda and pick that up? And they're like, oh my God, like, yes, I did. You asked me like 5 times. But like, all that timekeeping, it's really helped me. Like, I'm so on the ball with like all that kind of stuff. Like having fun, like meeting people, speaking to people. Like, I love all that. But there is like really, really hard things when it comes to ADHD too. Like, the paralysis of it sometimes kills me. I'm just like, there's so much for me to do. I'm just so overwhelmed. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my God, where do you even start? And I need to take a couple of days like on the downer, like, because I can't fight through that. Like, it is really difficult. And then things like I get so stressed out when people are late. Like, it's actually a joke. And I know this is my problem. All my friends for all my whole life, it'll be like, oh, don't be late for Nicole because she'll fucking flip, like she'll not, like, she'll be so pissed off. And it's not like it's not that I mean it, but I just think to myself, like, being too early stresses me out and being late stresses me out. To me. And it's because the way I get ready in life, and I know it's not like the same as everyone else, but say I'm going out at 5:30, like I'll time myself from like 2:00, right, have a shower at 2:30, dry your hair at 3:30, make the kids food at 5:00, start your makeup at 5:10, right, you're ready for 5:30.
Yeah.
And that is like ridiculous. And if you come to, you know, like to everyone else, and I'm like, why don't you work like that? Like,
yeah,
you know,
it
what
works for you.
Yeah.
Aye. And then like you sometimes forget that your mind's like a bit different to
Yeah.
like other people. But yeah, no, there is massive positives to it. Like the way my brain thinks, like I think I'm a really good problem solver. I love figuring things out and, you know, making things okay and making things work. But there is also sometimes where you're just like, shut the fuck up, Nicole. Like that is what I think. Like, see, sometimes when I say something, I'm like, oh shit. Like why did that just come out my mouth? But I actually have got a lot better at that since I've got older. Like I really have. Like I think that's come with age. Honestly, sometimes I'm just thinking something and it just bleh, there's nothing I can do about it. And I feel really bad. Like, and sometimes it takes me a half an hour till I'm driving home to think, oh my God, did you just say that? Like, actually out loud. And I'm like,
but does
yeah,
that bring anxiety, Nicole?
Yeah, the fear.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, what did I say? Like, and I'm always replaying like conversations, like, or before I go and meet someone, or like, I do you like see if I've got like an interview or something, I'm like, right, I'll say this, then I'll say this, then I'll say this. It's exhausting. You know what I mean? Like, it can be really exhausting.
Yeah. If I've had like an argument with someone or something, I have the exact conversation that I think I'm going to have in my head, which inevitably never plays out, of course, because you've scripted what the other person's going to say back to you, which they don't. And then you're thrown and your brain's like, well, I don't know how to cope with this because this wasn't the plan.
Do you know what else absolutely kills me is when I've thought of something all day and I'm like, right, this is what I'm going to say, like, and then I forget to say it and I'm like, oh, nah. Like, and like, why did I not? And I'm so angry at myself. Like, why didn't you say that? Like, why didn't you do that? And, you know, like clothes and stuff and eating, obviously, like, you know, that all comes along with ADHD. And there is just so much. And I think it's a shame now because people are like, oh, that ADHD fad, you know, it's all over TikTok and, you know, and like there is obviously a percentage of that. You know what I mean? Like that is the same with everything, not just ADHD. Like people just say, no, I've got this, I've got that. And, you know, maybe they are just a bit depressed or do have anxiety, and all that is, you know, equal to that person. Like everything is a big deal if it's your problem. But it's a shame because it does take away the struggle, you know, of someone who does have ADHD, or who is autistic and, you know, has masked their whole life, and then like, you know, they're brave enough to say, oh, I've got ADHD, and then people are rolling their eyes, you know, saying, oh, another one.
Especially when you have those moments of realization and you look back and you think, oh,
it makes so much sense.
And actually then it becomes quite validating for why you've had lived experience of what you've had. And then I can totally relate to what you're saying. And then obviously you've got all these people going, oh yeah, you're just jumping on the bandwagon. And you think, well, I mean, I don't have a diagnosis of ADHD, but obviously there's a fair few similarities. But and I think, well, actually, you know, jumping on the bandwagon or not, that's actually really important to recognize that. And loads of those struggles that I had when I was in my teenage years and stuff, actually there might have been a reason for that. It wasn't just that I was, you know, inherently naughty at school, which I was, you know, targeted at, and all of this stuff.
I was an absolute nightmare. Like I was a nightmare. Anything I was told to do, I would do the opposite. You know, when I was at school, meant to be at school, I was, you know, away like you know, skiving school or whatever. I was always doing everything I should. I would rather have been at work than school, so I would lie to my school and say, oh, my mum said I'm allowed to do this, or, you know, my mum and dad were split up, so I'm like, my dad said this, my mum said this. Like I just constantly was I was a nightmare, like, and I know that, like a self-confessed nightmare. But there is a few, I think, I don't know about yous, but like, you know, aside from the whole family situation, like I think there's always that one or two people who pick up on it, and they might not know it's ADHD, but they know that you're special and they really try and look after you and they accept you for who you are. And, you know, I think it's always really important to look out for that one teacher or that one auntie or, you know, someone who might not say the words, oh, I think you've got this, or I think you've done this, but they just totally accept you for who you are. And I think that person carries on through adulthood.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of families that are having those eye-opening moments. Now we know so much more about autism, about ADHD, that are going, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. Actually, I can see that for myself, and I can see that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, so my granddad wasn't just the worst man in the world. He was actually stressed out his box and didn't know how to live. And, you know, there's all these things that people are coming to realise. Like, and I think that just does come along with acceptance and spreading awareness and, you know,
understanding as well.
Understanding.
Yeah.
And I think it is also just as important to live, though, as well. And I think that is why I have died down my page about constantly going on about autism and advocating for it, because I'll advocate for that until the day I die. You know, that is my life, that's our life. And I'd happily talk about anything from schooling to anything, you know, speech and language, OT, you know, that is what our whole life revolves around. But there is also a lot more to life than that. And I think that is what some people forget. You know, there's a lot more to life than just constantly thinking negatively, you know, or you know, making yourself sad. You know, Freddie is very high needs autistic, you know, in comparison to some. But Freddie's been on a canoe, he's been on a paddle board, he's been on a jet ski, he's been up a mountain, he's been on a plane. And listen, none of that's easy. Can I just say, like, it's not just like, oh yeah, we just take him and do this. Like, but he deserves the life experiences too. And I think that all the life experiences have just helped. You know, they've just helped him in being down different areas, like different settings and sceneries, and being around different people. You know, it's not easy. Like taking him out on the water, it's you know, it's dangerous for one, but he absolutely loves it, and you've just got to try and manage it. And even the plane is a nightmare. The last time we were on the plane, Freddie literally shat on the seat before we'd even taken off. You know, nobody wants to smell that. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to be around that. Like I was boking, like literally on the plane. But it's like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't care. Like that's it and it's done. Yeah, it's stressful and everyone's staring and looking, but you're not going to see them again. You know, like you just like just sit down and get on with, you know, get a wine and just get on with your flight. Like there's literally nothing bad is going to happen for that.
Yeah, Nicole, you talked about the positives and the negatives of your ADHD and how it sort of manifests itself. What's it like for you being a parent of children that are neurodivergent? Do you find sometimes you're all like having meltdowns at the same time?
Yeah, so me and Freddie, no, we are just like so polar opposite. Like he is my calm. Anything he does, you know, I don't care. Like honestly, he is just so, I'm so zen with him. Me and Maisie, wowza, like that's not a good combo sometimes. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I love Maisie. Like I would do anything for her. Like we are honestly best friends. Like she's so similar to me. But hard work. Like the whole PDA kind of like not doing anything that you're asked to do. Getting dressed every morning for school morning. You know, I've always got to threaten to phone Gary, and everything just takes so long. I don't like my hair like that. I don't like this cardigan. That cardigan makes me feel sick. You know, and then me, the total impatient ADHD, are like,
get in the car.
Like, and I'm like, just get it on. Like, everything's going to be fine. Like, and she's like, this is making me feel so claustrophobic. And I'm like, oh my god, phoning Gary, like put it on loudspeaker. Like, oh, that happens nearly every morning. And then I've got to like rein myself back in and be like, you're a mom, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Like, yeah, just get another cardigan. You know, nothing's going to happen. Deep breaths. But she completely just loses it, and then I'm sitting there like rocking backwards and forwards, like, oh my god, go to school. She normally texts me, sorry for being a pain, mum, and I'll be like, sorry for being a pain back, Maisie, love you. Like we both know that it's just in that moment in time, you know what I mean?
In those moments,
like even getting her hair done, like it's like I'll be brushing her hair and she'll shout when the back door's open, stop hitting me with that brush. Amy, like I'm literally brushing your hair. And she's like, well, that felt a bit sorer than usual. I'm like, you do realise you can't say stuff like that. And like everything's just, you know, like instead of putting her shoes in the drawer, she'll sit on the couch and try and chuck them in the kitchen and smash a glass, and you know, everything is just when I say it's chaos, like it is complete chaos, like all the time in the best way. Like the kids are always happy, they've always got their pals, there's always someone in my house. There's always a random child from my street in the crisp cupboard taking
Oh, I
sweeties.
love this.
Like, I never had that house, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
like, I just like bash on. As long as you don't touch my Coke Zero, I don't care. Take whatever you want.
Very territorial about the Coke Zero. My husband would completely empathise with you on that one. Like,
And they're like, Mum, can
the
you get a
Coke is
can
a
of juice?
no-go.
No, never. But yeah, that is, yeah, me and Freddie are absolutely fine, but me and Maisie, like, sometimes it's just a bit, like, I'm not gonna lie, it can be a bit fiery, and then we just have to walk away.
yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Definitely. So what do you do to look after yourself? Obviously, you've talked about the chaos that comes with your life. But I think, you know, for all of us, there's that element of how do we look after ourselves as well? Because to look after your children, you have to be kind of trying to fire on all cylinders, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'm really keen to hear about your mum's retreat.
So the Mums Retreat is basically a weekend retreat for mothers of autistic kids. So that's been going for probably about a year and a half now. So I think this is going to be my 5th one in September. And so it's 20 mums who all come together for a weekend, and there's like hypnotherapy, yoga, meditation, there's like a fire pit, lots of wine, lots of food, lots of crying, lots of laughing. You know, it's just a mixture of, we kind of, you know, we like, it's so weird. And I was saying this to one of my friends, Leslie Ann, the other day. She came to my first one, and now we're just like such good friends. And so when she first came in, you know, it's awkward. The Friday night is so awkward. Everyone's like, hi, don't want to look weird, you know, like, I'm just a normal person. And then by like the Sunday, everyone was like, I love you so much, hey, bye. Like no, it is like so many different people from so many different religions, backgrounds, areas, you know, nothing fits a mold, but everyone understands each other. So yeah, it's amazing.
I suppose it's bringing people together who have something in common, being that they're on some kind of journey and they just need a break, and they're just trying to look after themselves. And I guess when you've got that in common, naturally the, you know, friendships are kind of sometimes fast tracked, because
100%.
you let your guard
like,
down,
honestly, in the space of like 1 hour, there's a few bottles of prosecco consumed, and then everyone's telling each other
wine
whole,
helps.
Stories. It does.
Let's
it
be
helps
honest, the wine helps.
So yeah, and there's cakes and there's nibbles and there's crisps, and the lodges are total 5-star. Like, I must say, they're absolutely stunning. So to get that like treat away from, like, you know, it's amazing.
And so for everyone listening, this year's has sold out. So that's very unfortunate.
Sorry.
Yeah, and will you be doing more?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'll never say never. I get really stressed because what happens is I say no, and then I go, and then I have the best time, and then I book 2, and then they sell out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so I don't know. I'm not going to say never, but it's not in the near future.
Yeah.
Well, if anything changes, please let us know. You've spoken about being an adult with ARFID.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like?
To be honest, that is the worst. That is the worst part of my whole life. If we're being like real, that is definitely the hard. No one understands it. Asking for children's meals when you're out at restaurants, you know, still being 33 and not wanting your food to touch, not liking anything with sauce on it. Yeah, it's totally debilitating. Like, it is. It's really, really difficult to deal with. Yeah, it's horrible. You know, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, because like, I sit and watch people eating their Chinese and eating their Indian and, you know, making a full cooked breakfast, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I would actually die to eat that. You know, like, that is like, I love the smell, and I'm like, wow. But, you know, my diet's worse than Freddie's, if I'm being honest. Classic beige.
Yeah. Like, so do you have a number of sort of safe food that you're comfortable eating?
Yeah, all I can really eat is like, so I can eat most cereals, some types of crisps, but like only a few types. Like, I'm not good on the crisp front. Yogurt I can eat. Pizza, which is why I'm fat. Put that as your clip. Chips, most fruit. I can drink anything, so I can drink like any protein shake, you know, like all that. I can drink anything. So the kids and Gary get such a good dinner every single night at like 4:30. Then I was waiting until they went to bed and then ordering myself food. And that was just like a total binge eating comfort. And I know that, you know, like it was like my safe space. So that's what I've stopped doing. And I haven't done that for like nearly 2 months. I haven't waited until they've all went to bed to eat. And that is such a hard thing for me not to do. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself for that. I've lost 1.5 stone now.
Wow, well done.
And I'm just trying to do it really slowly and just not, you know, because I'm the person that's like, you know, get me a gastric bypass. Like I've been on Manjaro, I've been on Ozempic, I've been on the Cambridge diet. Like I can't stick to anything. You know, like I can't even be on the pill because I forget to take it. Then I have about 50 periods a month. Like I cannot stick to anything or remember anything. So this is just like if I have a bad day and if I have a pizza from I don't know, a pizza shop or whatever, I can just start back again the next day. You know, I've not let anybody down. I've not wasted money on injecting myself or you know, it can be done. And it's just about me trying to eat less and move more, really. And it sounds simple because it's bloody not, but that is literally what it is.
Yeah, and I suppose like it sounds a bit cliche, but actually I suppose it's kind of relevant for you, is that it's almost like making it a lifestyle change that becomes not something that you have to remember doing, but is just literally day to day. And
so that's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm not trying to like become some, you know, skinny. That's not what I strive to be. Like I just want to be comfortable. I want to be more active with the kids because I'm always the one like taking pictures and, you know, booking everything, but not like taking part in everything. And I want to take part in it. Like for so many years, I'll be like, oh no, I don't really want to do that. I do want to do that. You know, like I do want to do that. So to be able to do it, I need to lose weight. And that's just, I think I've just came to the terms like that's it. Like that's the simple fact of it.
Well done you, because it's not an easy journey, but getting that in that mindset is going to be positive for you and your family. So
yeah,
well
no,
done.
it definitely is. Like, and it's a huge lifestyle change. And you know, I suppose it's like any drug because you know I am addicted to food. Like that is 100% the truth. So you know, you do fall back on it, and you think you need it, and it's just about giving yourself grace. You know what I mean, for that day or two, and just you know, reminding yourself, like why you're doing it, and getting back to it. But it is hard, but it is doable.
Well done you. Nicole, our final question. There's a lot of people that will be listening that are at the start of their journey. What advice have you got for them that can relate to your own parenting journey?
My advice, if you're thinking that your child might be autistic, is to just really cut off people who you really don't necessarily need in your life at the time. Like keep your circle small, only tell a couple of people. Don't let yourself be upset by someone who doesn't mean that much to you. If you know what I mean, like just really reach out for help, go to Instagram pages, look at forums, and it might be a lot of information, but these people really do understand where you're going. And take no shit from professionals. Like if you know that there's something wrong, or not wrong, but if there's something different with your child, then you know, stand up for what you believe in. Like do it, like say it, shout it, scream it, swear, like whatever you need to do to get the answers that you need and the support for your little one. Just go for it, because they're all scared of me around the tables now, trust me. So I think the biggest thing is educating yourself to give your child you know, the best success in their lives, I think. So just start and researching everything you can, from support plans to, you know, benefits to what, you know, who can help them, and just keep going every single day.
Great advice.
Thank you, Nicole.
I know.
We must ask this before you go, Nicole. How do people if people want to get in contact with you and follow your journey, what's the best way of finding you?
Just on Instagram, it's at ADHD_Nicole Settle.
Amazing.
And you can message me anytime, and I'll probably take a week to get back to you, but I will always get back to you.
Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.